Bring out that glorious church music because thank God it's Friday. TGIF, everybody. My name's Mike Jimenez. That's Joe Garcia, and this is the Alamo City Sportscast coming at you from the Alamo City, San Antonio, Texas. We're the home of the Spurs. We're the home of the UTSA Roadrunners. The Mission's looking good this year.
They are.
UIW. Some of us call Texas State home, maybe a little bit. Again, my name's Mike Jimenez. Joe Garcia is here. And we have a special guest today.
Several.
Two of them.
Several.
Yes, we have several special guests. But we're going to have the Von Erichs.
Yeah.
Ross and Marshall Von Erich, sons of Kevin Von Erich, the legendary Von Erich family, going to be on this show today. They're scheduled to be on at 10:30, so in about 10 or 12 minutes or so. Yeah. We're excited about this because the evolution of this podcast has taken a turn. Having conversations with you, Joe, about this show. Don't get me wrong. I like talking sports, pop culture, nostalgia with you. But I think the evolution would be to have 2 sit-down interviews per week.
Yep, I agree.
Monday, Wednesday, Friday, maybe we do our normal show where we're talking Demon Mike comes out and Tall Tales and all that stuff. But I think the other times, maybe have 2 interviews per week with somebody of significance in the industry, whether it be an athlete or something. We had Frank Harris on yesterday.
Yeah, that was good.
And it was so funny because I went back and I rewatched that interview. Frank, a little bit standoffish at first. And by the end of it, a 15-minute interview turned into an hour-long thing.
Yeah.
Because we just kept going with it. And he unleashed on Whataburger. He unleashed on Bill Millers. He unleashed on Taylor Swift. I mean, I was like, this guy needs to have a platform of some sort. And we were talking to him about the Twitter streams, right? The Twitter spaces and stuff like that. And he was like, I don't know anything about it. I'm thinking to myself, this guy needs to be harnessed. The power of Frank Harris. He is San Antonio royalty. Today we have Texas royalty in the house.
We do.
When it comes to Ross and Marshall Von Erich, they're going to be taking part in RCW is Forever RCW Mania, which is Saturday, April 20th at the Good Shepherd Lutheran Activity Center. We're excited to have them on there. I saw the Von Erichs wrestle here in San Antonio about 4 or 5 weeks ago.
Yeah.
It was fun. It was a lot of fun. And we're going to have a 2-parter of this show. Okay, so we're going to have me and you for a few minutes, then the Von Erichs for a while, and then we're going to hand the reins over to Spernandez and Steph Mejia.
And their son. His son is here, man.
Yeah, they're in studio today. We're talking boxing. Dude, speaking of boxing, did not realize that Frank Harris was going to go to the Jake Paul-Mike Tyson fight.
Yeah.
And I was like, that was pretty exciting. Dude, he gave shade to Dak Prescott. I had people, we had a sports anchor from KSAT reach out to us and say, hey, man, that was a pretty good interview. We had other journalists come out and say it. I know James Pledger reached out and said how much he enjoyed it. Even Tim Spence from San Antonio Sports Star enjoyed.
Yeah, my boy RJ Marquez. Shout out to you, RJ.
Yeah.
And even Jeff Garcia, man.
Jeff Garcia, yeah. And I think this is the evolution of the show.
Yeah.
If you want to be part of the show, our YouTube stream and is open right now, and our chat line is open. We have Midtown Texas already in. Tim Gonzalez already in. Good morning, fellas. Again, we try to keep this show not dated, right? So that if you listen to it at 2 o'clock, 5 o'clock, 8 o'clock, or at midnight, it's still current enough for you to listen and to enjoy this show.
Yeah.
Again, the Von Erichs will be on hopefully in the next 5 or 10 minutes or so. The Baddie Brackets are going to be Sunday night. That's going to be the championship round so that we crown a winner on Monday. Or should we crown it on Tuesday? Should we talk about this on Monday?
I don't know if you're going to change the rules up again.
Yeah,
Come on, Mike.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing. We got down to the final 2, and the sad thing is I predicted the final 4. I predicted the final 2. It is Sydney Sweeney against Salma Hayek. Now, when they were in the same pod together, you saw that the first time Sydney Sweeney won 40-39.
I did.
But Salma Hayek, thanks to some politicking and some people on Twitter.
I mean, there was no doubt
coming out
number 1.
Coming out and saying, support Salma Hayek.
Yeah.
So she won the second time they were in a pod together, so they're now together. My question is, should there be a surprise?
No.
Do we go from 64 to 2 and then just have those 2 battle it out? Or should I bring in a surprise? Because, we have wrestlers coming on, Ross and Marshall Von Erich. We're going to have them on. And there's always that surprise. You were watching WrestleMania. There's always that surprise. Like, oh my God, who is coming into the ring?
It's true.
And we just need to know, can we bring somebody out of nowhere, out of left field, to play the spoiler in the Baddie Brackets?
Yeah.
So I'm going to throw out a name, because this is somebody that was not in the brackets to begin with. So people are reaching out to me saying, Jimenez, quit changing the rules on this, because you just want to have Dua Lipa in there. I don't care if Dua Lipa was in or not, right?
Midtown Texas, bro.
Yes, it's bra size. Okay, great. We're keeping it classy over here. But let me ask you this. What if I tossed out a name of a pop star that has millions of subscribers, followers on Instagram?
Oh man,
someone who has sold 10 million albums.
Taylor Swift.
No, someone who is the daughter of a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader.
Who would that be?
We never thought about Demi Lovato.
Demi
Lovato.
She's Latina.
She is born in New Mexico,
Latina?
raised in Texas. She's Mexican American. She is beautiful, whether she has short hair or long hair. She is curvaceous. She is a good actress. She was a former Disney actress. Demi Lovato was not part of this mix, and I kind of feel like that was the one that was missed out. Throw out another name. We didn't have Emily Ratajkowski on there, and I think she would have at least advanced to the Sweet 16. So I think that Demi Lovato being thrown into the mix, as maybe not have Emily Ratajkowski in there.
Did we have Selena Gomez in there?
We did. She went to the Sweet 16.
Okay.
So I wonder if we threw Demi Lovato into the mix, if she would just suddenly just win, or would she grab votes from Salma Hayek for the Latino vote?
I don't know if that's fair though, because she's coming in late into the fray. I know, but like I said, that's a Skip Menace move.
Just like WrestleMania. Oh my God, the lights turn on, the lights drop, the music turns on, and oh my God, who's that over there? It's
Steph,
Demi Lovato.
Steph, does this sound fair to you?
It doesn't, because it would have to be like sound.
She says it's not fair. She says it's not fair.
Somebody like smoking.
She says it has to be someone smoking hot.
Smoke show.
Okay, a smoke show. Demi Lovato is a smoke show.
I mean, if we want to talk about like, coming in late, someone who's not big,
Yeah.
but when her presence is known.
Now, Demi Lovato, I will say, is a nugget. She's a top tier nugget. She is the daughter. Let's show some photos here.
All right.
She is the daughter of a Dallas Cowboys cheerleader, which makes her, just like the Von Erichs, Texas royalty. She is smoking hot.
Let me go ahead and
in whatever aspect. And I know MCS General Contracting, Chris Leha, likes to diss a lot of the people that I put out there and says that they're mid. They call Sydney Sweeney Midney Sweeney.
The Chris Leha don't care for her, man.
Dude, I'm sorry, but no matter what it is, with the long hair, she's a 10, dude. She's a long hair. She's a 10. Demi Lovato. Oh my goodness. Oh, and as Steph Mejia points out, she's a little bit crazy. And don't we like that a little bit?
The crazy ones do bad things. That's why we like them.
Yeah. Crazy. How's it go? Crazy ones do bad things, but the big girls do more.
I don't know. No, come on. You can't handle no big girls. You don't like them, man. Mother love.
Yeah, Steph says the bigger the panza, the higher the chanza.
There you go, Mike.
Look at this. Look at this photo we have right here. Tell me that statuesque woman there would not do it. Look at her.
She's hot, dude. Smoke show.
She's a smoke show.
Smoke show.
Oh, look, Legs McGee. I mean, come on. How is she not in this whole category? Yes, Fernandez is saying, what do you mean? Does she gonna have a bye all the way through?
I know, bro. That's like bringing her way late into the fray, man. Come on, man.
Demi Lovato bringing it, man. 31 years old. She's 31 years old. So here's the thing. If you're gonna talk to get on the mic. So is Mike on?
Yeah, I'll turn her mic on right now.
So Demi Lovato again, she's a little crazy, but I don't mind. I don't mind a little bit crazy. I mean, look at her. Nugget. Oh all the way through, an absolute nugget. But Steph, you're telling me that I shouldn't throw her into the mix? You're telling me that she ain't a 10.
I mean, she's a 10, but like, shame on you for forgetting about her. Along with, if we're gonna talk about Latina artists, where was Carol
G? Yeah,
where was Becky G?
Well, I like Carol more than Becky.
I mean, okay. You again, we're gonna be throwing tomatoes at you because who you like.
Well, first of all, we can't have a battle royale, a Royal Rumble, if you will.
What about Kate Upton? You want to put her in the fray?
Dude, you know what, Kate
They have a certain type, bro.
Kate Upton 10 years ago. See, that's the thing about it. It's the Baddie Brackets of 2024.
Exactly how good
okay.
They look now.
Kate Upton right now.
What's wrong with her?
I mean,
Oh my God.
I'm not saying
you're that guy from that Shallow Hal movie that. Oh, I don't like the supermodel because of her pinky. I'm like, bro, come on.
No. Kate Upton is a 10 still, but she ain't a 10. She's a 10.
No,
she's Marbach nice. She's Marbach nice. Is that what you're saying?
Becky G. You need to Google
Becky G. Exactly. She's not a hard 10. So,
I know.
So it's funny.
Say?
We're looking at Becky G. Becky G's beautiful. She is. I like Cuddle G, but a little bit more. I like because listen a little bit more crazy.
This Baddie Bracket's taking a turn, Mike.
A little bit more crazy.
So we got the Von Erichs here now.
Oh, I know. But again, we're gonna have the finals. We'll do the finals of the Baddie Brackets on Monday. Sydney Sweeney against Salma Hayek. That's what we're gonna do.
There we go, Chris.
But we have some Texas royalty in the house that needs to jump in.
So we're gonna
go ahead and bring in the Von Erich brothers, Ross and Marshall Von Erich. Good morning, my man. How you doing, gentlemen?
Hello, guys. How y'all doing?
Doing well, man. You jumped in probably at an inappropriate time because we talk we talk sports, pop culture, and nostalgia here, and we did a 64 woman bracket of who's the hottest celebrity of 2024. Okay, and we got down to the final two. We had literally thousands of people vote over the past month or so, and the final four was just wrapped up. We got down to the final two. It is Salma Hayek, who's in her mid-50s, by the way, and still a smoke show, against Sydney Sweeney in the finals. Who do you got in the finals?
I'd say we called it at the perfect time. All right, Ross is all about it. Man, Ross, big brother, I'm going to let you take this one because I'm going to be honest, I don't know who either of them are.
Okay. Yeah.
So as much as I love my my older queens, I might go for the go Sydney.
Yeah, Sydney Sweeney is the modern day Marilyn Monroe. Is what she is. I mean, that's just basically who she is. And she started to dress like her. But we had San Antonio royalty yesterday with Frank Harris, UTSA football legend. And today we've got wrestling royalty because the Von Erich family, the Von Erich name is synonymous with the state of Texas. And they're going to be taking part in RCW Mania April 20th at the Good Shepherd Lutheran Activity Center. Already sold out, by the way. And I will tell you this, gentlemen, I saw you guys perform about 6 weeks ago. One of your fights over here in San Antonio. It was amazing. It was electric out there. What's it like doing your thing here in San Antonio?
Man, it's nothing compares to it. It's like San Antonio is basically our new home, and so anytime we get to go up to RCW, it's only really a few minutes away from the house, and man, it's great. The atmosphere is electric. Always a good time.
9 years ago, we came to San Antonio for the first time, and we couldn't believe how hot the crowd was and just the people. And our dad was telling us that. He said, San Antonio and Dallas, he's like, I'd say they're the same. I mean, San Antonio is one of the hottest places I've wrestled, and we got to experience it firsthand. And this RCW crowd is that's what it is. It's exciting. It's electric, and full of great talent and the whole roster. And so, that's why we consider it our new home for what we're in San Antonio, and it's right there. So it's perfect. It's perfect for us.
There you go, man. San Antonio really is a hotbed for wrestling. Like I said, I was at that event. It was the RCW 22nd birthday celebration they had there. I was screaming there in the third row. I took my nephew out there who had never been to a wrestling event. And I was telling him the other day that, last year I went to 2 wrestling events, or in the past 12 months. I went to the RCW 22nd birthday and I went to a WWE event that was here at the Frost Bank Center. But doing the events that have 500 people, 1,000, 2,000 people in the crowd, it's so much more electric for me because you're so close. There's not a bad seat in the house. And I know you guys have done things in big arenas. You've done things in small theaters and everything in between. Which do you prefer?
You know, there's something about when you're in that intimate setting. I know what you mean. I think if someone's going to come watch a wrestling match for the first time, I almost think it's better to go to an independent show just because you're so submerged in the action. You're going to interact with the wrestlers, whether you like it or not. You're there. You're in it. And when you go to a big show, you kind of just feel like just another sheep in the herd. It's you go in there and it's a huge arena. But I prefer the smaller crowds. If I want my family to come and just keep it intimate, I like bringing them to the smaller shows. To the big shows, you're not going to not really see anybody all day. It's business. It's just mostly just business and get in, get out. But that's RCW is really good at that because they let the fans interact with the wrestlers. We're hanging out with them the whole time. It's honestly why we're in this. Because we're nothing without the fans. And so it is RCW does a great job at that.
One of the things that's great about San Antonio and the crowd here is that they've always been avid wrestling fans, going back into even the early 80s and the early advent of what was once the WWF, now the WWE, and just being able to follow that as a kid from the wrestling, let's say, origins of San Antonio early in the 80s to now. That crowd has just gotten even more advantageous. They get up for these wrestling matches like no other. It's a special city here. The city, they have a fascination with wrestling, and it doesn't matter if it's just mainstream or small roots wrestling. The fans here just love wrestling, period. And when you put on a good match, they let you know it. They're screaming, they're yelling. I mean, it's electric,
100%. And there's, when we first got into wrestling, I didn't know San Antonio would be such a hot place for professional wrestling, but the people here are just different. They really are. It's family oriented. And people, they know us, and it's almost like they've hurt with our family. They've grown with our family. And it's even the first timers coming in. That's why that the movie we consider it a blessing because it brought in a lot of new faces, or not a lot of new people, and and so a lot of people are just finding out about us or the family, and it's awesome. It really is cool. And the fact that we're finally here in Texas and we picked San Antonio for a reason. It was our my brother and I. If we're ever in Texas longer than 2 weeks, we always try to come down to the hill country. We're always outdoors. We're always swimming in rivers. We're always hunting, fishing, so we love just being outside. And I think this side of Texas is about as outdoorsy as it gets. We got the hills, we got mountains, and
we like being one with our environment out here.
Yeah, that's right.
So again, RCW Mania.
Sound like a bunch of hippies. We're not, I promise.
Again, RCW Mania is Saturday, April 20th at the Good Shepherd Lutheran Activity Center. You can check out rivercitywrestling.net for a live stream. And if there are any new tickets that get made available, again, go to rivercitywrestling.net for it. Talking to the Von Erich brothers, Ross and Marshall, again, going to be out there on April 20th. You mentioned being back in Texas because you were in Hawaii for so long, right? So what do you love about Hawaii? What do you miss about Hawaii? And what's it like being back in the Lone Star State?
Yeah, man, Hawaii is extremely important, for us because we went. I was about in 8th grade. My brother was in high school, and so it was. We were in Texas. We were comfortable. We had our friend groups, all that stuff. But being taken from Hawaii, or taken from Texas and put in Hawaii, at the time I didn't understand it. I remember telling my parents, like, I'm a Texan. I'm not supposed to be here. I'm a blackberry eating country boy. I don't belong out in this ocean. I don't get this. I don't like the sand. I was explaining that to my dad, and I could tell it broke him a little bit. But he knew something we didn't. He knew we needed to be there. And what it did is my brother and I, it taught us a lot of things. First of all, it taught us how to fight. We had to stick together. And you know, there was we got in scuffles and things like that, but we got so close as brothers where it was almost like we were being prepared for what was about to come with going to Japan and you know, not knowing anybody. And you know, when we got to Japan, being third generation wrestlers, the Japanese are very, you know, they take their crap serious, and so if there was any quit in you, they wanted to wean, they want to get it out. And the fact that we're third generation wrestlers, they were extremely hard on us. And one thing we promised we wouldn't do was quit, and so we stuck to it. And having each other in that was so important. But we were pretty close from coming to Hawaii, not having friends, and you know, being each other is all we had. My dad, maybe that was what my dad's intention. I'm not really sure, but it 100% worked because, you know, we got tired of arguing and bickering with each other. So we're like, hey, let's start working out. And I realized we're into the same stuff. We're brothers. We've been best buds for 30 years. So we might as well just get along, you know. Yeah. And so yeah, Hawaii was it was great because we're out in the middle of the ocean, no distractions. It was an easy trip to go to Japan, but first getting there were some changes, but we fell in love with the ocean, fell in love with diving, and we weren't by the beach. We're up in the mountains, so we're pretty isolated. And you know, we got into farming, and it was a great way to come up. 100%.
Yeah.
You mentioned third generation wrestlers, right? Because, you know, your grandfather Fritz was a wrestler for so long, and then we know the story of you know, your dad Kevin, and then your uncles who tragically passed away over the years, and the Iron Claw movie came out, kind of chronicling this whole family tragedy that transpired from the 80s to the early 90s or so. I grew up a big time fan of the Von Erichs. I was a huge Von Erich fan growing up. My sisters were really into it. You know, I had one sister that was in love with your dad. I had another sister in love with Carrie. I mean, it was a thing, man. It was a big thing. I kind of feel, and maybe I'm wrong, maybe I've been outside of the loop here when it comes to it. I kind of feel like wrestling was really, really big in Texas for a great while. And then it was kind of a bit of a swoon where it just wasn't as popular. And I kind of feel like we're on the ramp back upwards. Is that a good way of looking at it?
I agree.
Yeah,
I agree.
I totally feel that too.
What's weird is my dad's been saying this for the past 10 years. He's old school. Everyone knows that. And he would, if you're a younger wrestler and he talks to you, he's going to tell you the same thing. He tells everybody, he's like, it's about telling a story. It's not about all this backflip in it. You know, my dad, that's just how my dad always has been.
Yeah, just like all the old school guys.
I think it was one of the first things he said to Tony Khan. Oh, come on, man, we're trying to be good impression. You know, that's the first thing he said. But you know, my brother and I, we try to take a little bit from both olds. We like the old school style. We prefer it, but we have to, you know, we have to evolve and work with the guys how they are now. But that's
yeah, man. It's just it's just I don't know. It's like it's something we get to do together, man. And it's just we're living our dream right now, and
it's getting hotter right now. We felt that pro wrestling was growing. But yeah, like I said, my dad was saying that. But in the past, you know, 5 to 6 years, it seems like it's really, really starting to, like, especially with the younger crowd. I have a lot of nieces and nephews. Seeing my nephews getting into wrestling, that they came to our matches at AEW, and that was honestly one of the first times they watched us wrestle, because we were living in Hawaii. They weren't able to, you know, fly with us every time. We were leaving once a week or once every 2 weeks from Hawaii, and so it was difficult to have them ever tag along or whatever. But they got to go to our AEW shows, and they genuinely think wrestling is cool, which is cool because it did go through a dull period where it was almost like people were ashamed of being a wrestling fan. They wouldn't want to admit it. If you were older, you didn't want to admit it. But you know, wrestling's beautiful. It really is. It really is. You have a group of people coming in, and you don't know what kind of week they were having. You don't know what kind of day they're having. If they lost somebody, if they're fighting with their wife, they're mad at their boss. But you go in there to let go. You go in there and you scream at the bad guys. You cheer for the good guys. And it really does bring a lot of people together.
And the people really do have some control and some say so and how the thing plays out. So
especially with our style of wrestling, we're old school and we listen to the crowd. And so we want fans to know that we're listening to you. Like, I don't know what I'm going to do until I hear what y'all tell me to do.
I'm gonna push back a little bit because I cheer for the heels half the time. You know, half the time.
We're one of those guys.
Yeah.
It's kind of like going into the opposing team's arena and wearing the different jersey. You know, I'm like, no, I'm cheering for the heels.
There's a lot of you.
So, Ross, let me ask you a question. You know, talk about the training for this, because you guys have talked a little bit about nutrition and stuff like that, but what is the training like for you? What's a day in, day out of a professional wrestler?
Yeah, our training is going to look a little different than like maybe say a bodybuilder or something. You know, we were both raised athletes, and so we've adopted a lot of that, you know, our training into what we do now. Like a lot of it is we'll do explosive stuff, and we're mainly for longevity too, like injury prevention and stuff. And
we look like psychos when we're in the gym though, because we're like putting squat bars or putting the bar on our back, and we're doing box jumps and stuff. And so we're trying to keep the quick twitch fibers, you know, everything, because, you know, we don't want to tear. And when we tried the whole thing where we just get as big as we possibly can, and that doesn't go well with wrestling. I mean, we've tried. You just be smart about it. And I was pulling stuff and stretching stuff, but I would say the typical schedule for a professional wrestler, depending on if you're on the road a lot. But yeah, you land wherever you're going to land, depending on what time the show is. Every wrestler is different. A lot of wrestlers like to work out before the show at the hotel or whatever. Find a nice gym. Usually hotel gyms kind of stink, but
basic.
Yeah, just basic. But you know, it's my brother and I. We would prefer to work out, you know, the morning after the match, just so I feel like I have the day of a match. I like to completely just
be fresh.
Yeah, be fresh, be calm. Really try not to have too much emotions about anything. I'm like watching boring movies. We both try to get into a movie a day of a match. I think the last one we watched was Count Monte Cristo. Is a old school movie, but we were so into it. Kind of makes you forget that you're on the road. It's kind of cool.
Yeah.
So what kind of calorie intake are we talking about here? I mean, is it something where you're doing, I have, like you mentioned, not bodybuilding. I have a friend who's a bodybuilder, and he's throwing down 3,800, 4,000 calories easily per day.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You guys are burning so much energy. What do you think the macros are, man, when it comes to it all?
So we've done that diet too. We've done like 5 to 8 meals a day before, when we were just trying to get as big and heavy and powerful as possible. And I think just what works best for us, kind of like we'll do like some intermittent fasting a lot of times, and it's almost out of necessity, because, you know, you're on the road, you're going airport to airport, you're not going to get a lot of good food, you know, without risking maybe like food poisoning or something, you know. So we'll try to get at least one huge meal a day. And when I say like one meal, it's like it would be a normal person's like 2 or 3 meals probably. It's like basically it's pretty gross, you know. We'll eat a big amount of food, and then letting your body it's really good for your body to feel that hunger, and that it heightens your senses and stuff. And
it's weird, you wrestle better when you're hungry. I my whole life I've always be trying to put weight on because of football and discus and all that stuff. I just try to keep my stomach full all the time. That was the thing. And this new way, it's different. It's almost like letting your primal instincts come out by, you know, if we're back at, you know, if it was 400, 500 years ago and you had to hunt for your food, you're going to go a few hours without eating, or a few days without eating. And then you get in a fight with whatever you're trying to kill, you know? And so it's weird. This something turns on in your body. And so we every match we wrestle, usually we hadn't eaten all day, you know. We treat it as if we were lions going hunting, you know.
And so we'll feast right after.
Yeah, we'll feast after. We'll go to IHOP. Get that 2 by 2.
Is IHOP the place? Where's the place in San Antonio, by the way? Where can we find the Von Erichs feasting and eating like royalty here in San Antonio?
Hey, we're looking for some good Mexican restaurants. Our whole family.
La Gutierrez is our favorite right now. We're there at least 2 or 3 times a week.
We're on a first name basis with the cook, not just the food, just not the lady up front. Everybody.
Yeah. I'll tell you what. I'll throw one name out there: Garcia Mexican Restaurant. I believe, which is on Fredericksburg, or is it Woodlands, near downtown.
I'm writing it down right now.
Garcia's Mexican restaurant, best enchiladas, best brisket, and not only that, somehow or another, it's not greasy. It's just so weird.
Really? Did you say brisket and enchiladas?
Yes. That's basically what they sell.
Awesome.
That's what they sell there. Brisket and enchiladas, and essentially that's it.
Okay,
And
that's what I'm talking about.
Yeah, they're only open for lunch, by the way, so keep that in mind. But
that's how you know the place is good, when their hours are weird. There's a really good barbecue place.
You work on their time.
Yeah.
Or if it's connected to a Mexican bakery, right? That's how you know it's good.
Right. Yeah.
I got a quick question. I wanted to ask them real quick. What does it mean to you guys to be carrying on the family legacy, and continue to wrestle and kind of show maybe the next generation of Von Erichs, what's possible out there?
Man, dude, that question is that question is so heavy, and I wish I had the vocabulary to explain it. But with my brother and I, a lot of wrestlers nowadays, they grew up being wrestling fans, like that's just how it was. But something different about the 80s wrestlers is these were a lot of them weren't wrestling fans. A lot of them were football or athletes, or just badasses in a bar. They were getting in scuffles and stuff, and so they brought them. That's why you get so many characters in wrestling back then. It wouldn't you get the Bruiser Brodies, the Stan Hansens, these just big characters. Rough men characters or whatever. And because my dad has he can't believe how different the locker rooms are and cleaner. The guys are healthier. The guys aren't doing drugs in the locker room. They're not doing anything crazy. It's almost a more pure of a locker room. But to us, we not only grew up wrestling fans, but we studied our family our whole life. And my brother and I, we've almost feel like we're on a quest, because we people that know us know that we love our dad. Our dad is basically like our dad, our big brother. We're really, really, tight and close to him. And, that's just a byproduct of what comes with tragedy. You realize, tomorrow's not guaranteed. So the ones you have, you hold close. And, but, my dad has always been very, very open about talking about the past, and very open about it. It's almost like how he coped with it in a way. He just, and he knows 100% in his heart, he believes that he's going to be with them again and see him again. And so my brother and I, we look at it more as a duty that was bestowed on us. And it's an honor. It's such an honor to be put on us. And we thought we weren't worthy in the beginning. In the beginning of the careers, we were in Japan, and we were like 0-70, getting our butts kicked all over Japan. And there was a day in particular, we went on a roof, and it was before a match, and we were talking to each other, and I was like, man, I don't want to embarrass the family. I want to honor it, but we're sitting here getting our butts kicked. We're not very good at this, and we've been here for a year. I'm not sure what we should do. And my brother didn't really have an answer for me, and so we sat there and we said a little prayer right there on that roof. If this is what we're supposed to do, just give us some kind of confirmation. So we went down, we wrestled, we had our match, and so we got back to the roof, and we almost felt like if this is our last our last tour to Japan, we're in some random town in the middle of nowhere. Let's mark our names on this wall. And so we're on this roof, and there was a little wall. We marked our names, Ross Marshall, the year 2012, and we continued just talking or whatever. And a few hours later, or like an hour later, we look at the other side of the wall. We've been on the roof for a while, and we saw a scratching, and we looked up, and it was a carved, like someone wrote with a rock, and it was so faded, but it said Kevin David 82, and it had a picture of my dad's signature, the little alligator. He draws an alligator or a shark with jagged teeth. And that day, it was the most undeniable confirmation, and it rocked us really, really hard. Like I got choked up. I'm not a preachy person. We're not super religious people. My dad let us figure it out for ourselves. And that was that right there really, really hit me hard. And, it showed me 100% that I'm doing what I'm supposed to be doing. I'm in Japan right now. I'm 19 years old, and there was two others just like me. in the 80s, they were exactly our age. My real name's Kevin. His real name's David. It was Kevin and David. It was just the most confirmation. And that honestly started kind of like my walk with God. I was like, okay, something up there just heard me. Like it just heard that cry out. My heart, I was crying out. And every wrestler, you know, there's a silent war going on inside. If this is what I'm supposed to do, am I good at it? Do they accept me? Should I just give up now? I've been doing this for years, and I feel like I'm not getting noticed. You know, there's a silent war going on, and my brother and I, we almost feel like we're not only wrestlers, but we want to be beacons of hope for the boys. You know, when we're in that locker room, you know, it's when you're together like that. There's a weird kinship.
There's a camaraderie that comes with performing, you know, with each other in a high pressure, tense situation where the stakes are high, you know.
And after the match, you're in this weird, vulnerable state where it's weird. You'll be talking.
It's therapeutic.
You'll barely talk to the guy you're wrestling before the match, and just how's it going? You're like, man, I wonder if this is gonna get sloppy. It's gonna break out in a fist fight, and then at the end, you're always like, love you, brother. All right, brother, call me anytime. You know, it turns. It does something to you, but you know, it's wrestling really is. I've grown to love it more and more. When a lot of people would think we would blame it for things, but wrestling has done nothing but good things for our lives. And any chaos or tragedy that came, it wasn't wrestling's fault. It's always, you know, it's what's going on inside. There's a war going inside, and they were young kids, and you know, Von Erichs are where we're self-critical. We can be critical on ourselves, but my brother and I, you know, we've got to watch it happen. And so we completely hold each other accountable. We're constantly talking, you know, and it's
kind of a microcosm of everyone's reality. Everyone is, you know, as stupid as it sounds, everyone's a wrestler, you know. Your day-to-day life, you know, it's the exact same struggle that an everyday working person has as a wrestler has. That we're having those same battles and doubts sometimes, and highs and lows, and I think at the very root of it, I think that's where people can relate to the wrestler. And
100%.
Well, that's amazing. You know, talking about what happened in Japan there, and on the rooftop, it just proves that spiritually God can reveal himself from time to time, and maybe not point you in the direction that you want to go in, but confirm the direction that you're going on.
Right. Yes. I didn't want that answer. I didn't want it. I wanted it to be go to the NFL, you know, leave Japan. I wanted one of those. I was like, man, I suck at this though. And it didn't get easier. It got harder.
Yeah, it didn't get easier right away either. Yeah. But that little bit just gave us enough to keep going, and then little other confirmations would come up and
tell your body to shut up. Like you wake up in the morning, like I'm hurt. I don't want to do this right now.
Yeah,
like, let's go.
One of those listening right now, Midtown says God is good. Just wants you to give you
God
that.
is good.
Amen,
Yes, brother. Amen.
Speaking of good, we were talking about food earlier. Garcia's a spot on, according to one of our listeners, Chris Gonzalez. Which, by the way, I did look it up. It's 842 Fredericksburg Road.
Okay.
Highly recommended. 842 Fredericksburg Road.
Okay.
Others are saying Henry's Puffy Taco, which is a San Antonio staple.
Yeah.
Is that one. Now, earlier we were talking about the swoon that was in wrestling. I would say the early 2000s, right? That there was some, I don't want to say embarrassment, but you just kind of kept it in the shadows there, that you were a big wrestling fan, right?
Yeah.
I kind of feel that stigma there prevented the Iron Claw movie from being nominated for Best Picture. Do you think that has something to do with it? Because what an incredible movie. And I'm looking at Rotten Tomatoes right now. You're talking about 90% of critics enjoying the movie and 94% of the audience. And you're telling me that we couldn't get, you know, some nominations for this movie, which was an incredible movie.
Man, that is. I just don't know how all that stuff works. I heard from somebody that it was because they something about the timing of the premiere. I'm not 100% sure, but all in all, like Zac Efron did, he took it extremely serious, and I was, you know, we were. I was just relieved at that point, but you know, it was out of our control. We we didn't have any involvement with the making of it. And but you know, like my dad said, he's like, this is nothing but it's a blessing. It's a blessing. If they want to know the true story, they'll Google us, and they'll know that the story ends happy. I'm the happiest man on earth. You know, he really is one of the happiest guys we know. But you know, I still think it was a great movie. I think it was a great message, and there was a few things in the movie that were when we premiered it as a family, it was kind of unreal watching it with my dad being there. And, you know, yeah, of course, there's some inaccuracies, and chronologically, there's stuff like
Hollywood,
that.
yeah.
It's Hollywood, of course, but watching a movie based on it was so weird.
It's like awkward almost. It's like once you can get past that and actually see it as a
I had to watch
spectator.
it. Yeah, I had to watch it as a spectator. You have to watch it as if you didn't know the world-class story, because then you're going to compare and it's going to ruin the movie for you. But you almost have to just wash your brain and just watch it. And there was one scene in particular that rocked my dad and honestly all of us. But it was when my Uncle Kerry passed, and he was in the boat going to the boat dock, and the brothers were on the dock. Yeah. What was unbelievable was my dad. He didn't say anything. He just I could just tell it took his breath away, and me too. I was holding my sons, and I had to like put him down and walk away. My sons were about to see me cry in front of everybody, and I set him down and I took a stroll. But afterwards, we're in the car. I was driving back with my dad, and he said, "I never told anybody that. I never told anybody that story," because he said he had a dream. That was his dream, and that was what rocked us so hard.
Yeah, and nobody should have known that was that's something like my dad has only talked about, to us and maybe it was scary handful of other people. So it was, so he would always say, if one of us dies, we're all gonna meet up, and they're like, yeah, like they were talking like this as kids. It's a really strange thing to do, but
being all boys with no sisters, my dad said that he's like there was others that walked this earth, and they were just like me, because my dad, growing up, he can embarrass you. He can be loud. He's always just ribbing us and playing jokes, and always just do anything to get us to crack a smile or laugh. And if it means embarrassing himself, he'll proudly do it. He'll be happy to do it. And my mom said it was worse when Uncle Kerry and Uncle Dave, and then they were trying to impress each other. So they're falling downstairs. They're doing all kinds of stuff just to get the nieces and nephews to laugh. But my dad, for someone that has gone through so much and has lost everything, there's a quote that he said that I always say, but death can do two things to a man. It can harden you and make you bitter towards the world, or it can break you down and soften you, make you compassionate towards those who suffer. And my dad can't stand watching people suffer. He's a totally different guy than he was when he's coaching us in football and stuff. He was hard. He was.
There was a window of time where he was like, am I just going to go the total opposite way and just go to prison and just let everyone else feel my pain, and so I think you have to get to that point to make that decision. It's like, it's crazy hearing them tell that story. And then, I think the Vice did a really good job of capturing that part of it,
and Dad did say, going through what he went through was the best teacher. Is going through hurt and heartache. It just makes you appreciate. He's like I love hard, but I hurt hard too, and so it was special just going and seeing that movie together as a family and watching I guess just a sliver of his life a little bit, and being there with him to experience it was pretty awesome.
When you heard Zac Efron was going to be the star of the movie, what were the initial thoughts? Because Zac Efron came from the Disney family. I mean, he's heartthrob and all that stuff, and he's been in a lot of comedies. He's been in a lot of comedies along the way, like Neighbors and Neighbors 2.
One of the funniest things is my dad was at the very, very beginning. My dad did an interview, and he was trying to act like he knew who Zac Efron was, and it was funny because we knew he didn't know who Zac Efron was at the time. And
we knew, of course.
Yeah, we knew him. We knew him. But my dad was answering the question and Googling who he was, and he's like, I watched that High School Musical movie. It's a good movie. He was trying to talk about it, and I was like, I kind of messed up the interview because I was like, "What was it about, Dad?" And he's like,
High school.
"Yeah." When the interview was over, he was like, "Screw you, man! What the hell was that?"
Well, this has been fantastic, and we appreciate you sharing the story. Like you said, the movie Iron Claw was amazing. I thought it got snubbed for the Academy Awards. I took my nephew Nathan to go watch it, and I knew the story because, like I said, I was big into Texas wrestling growing up, and I knew how it was going to unfold. Right, as you said at the end, it's an uplifting ending. Because it shows that that the family survives. You have through your dad and the family in Hawaii and all your cousins and whatnot. Amazing. But I took my nephew who had no idea what the story was. He's 21 years old, goes and watches the movie, and he grabs me by the arm and he's like, not again, not again. But I think that the lesson that you guys have learned, like you said, from your dad and him being a father, being a best friend, being a trainer, being everything like that is amazing. I think it's a testament to you guys because you guys are in a weird situation in the sense that, you guys are Texas royalty, whether you like it or not. Just having the name and doing what you do for a living. And like you said, you could have done a 180. Your dad could have done a 180. Mm-hmm. But to quote the movie Shawshank Redemption, you got to get busy living or you get busy dying.
Yeah, great movie, man.
He decided to get busy living. And it seems like you guys have come around with that. I love the storyline that you talked about, the rooftop there in Japan. God revealing himself to you. This is inspirational stuff, man, because behind the wrestling and all the acrobatics and the athletics and the theatrics that go on with wrestling, there's still two human beings behind this, and you guys have gone through a lot. You guys lived through a lot. As we wrap up here, I want to know what's the end game for you guys. Like the end game, like what do you aspire to do in wrestling, in life? What is the end game for you? Because you guys are living in the moment, but I know you guys have your sights set on something in the distance. What is that?
Yeah, we want to, of course, make our dad proud, and he's a great dad. He's already proud. He's already proud. But there's this thing in my brother and I. We both know the job isn't finished yet. We have this. We have a plan, and it's my dad has believed in us from the start. The entire ride, man. I could get really deep into it, but he's as cheesy as it sounds. He saw something in us when we didn't see anything, but I really didn't see anything in myself. My brother and I didn't. We know ourselves. We thought people were like, when people would cheer, we thought it was fake. We just couldn't believe it. And my dad said it's gonna click, and I would say to bring him some belts, well, we're not we've never had the same motives as other wrestlers. It's our intentions were really never to go to a major company in the beginning. It was really, we were getting into wrestling just to see what it was about and get to know our family better. I wanted uncles really bad. I wanted to know my uncles super bad. And so we got into wrestling as a quest to find our family. And we met so many wrestlers that knew them personal. And we've had, we met, I remember the time we met Brian Adidas in the locker room. We were just in mid conversation. The guy just breaks down and starts crying. And he's like, your mannerisms, and he's grabbing my face and you're just like Kerry. You tell jokes like Kerry. You're the way you look at me. And then he grabbed my brother and he's like, and you're Kevin. And Brian Adidas grew up with our family, with, as kid, in high school, middle school, all that. He grew up with them. But, we want people, I guess we want people to look at our lives, and those are two guys that just trusted God. We can't, most people that know us, they know we're Christians. We're Christians, but we're not like your typical Christians. We pro wrestling, we see the power that it can do. When we wrestled in Israel, we in the 80s, there was a ceasefire between the Jews and the Palestinians to watch professional wrestling. My dad's retirement match, we were sitting in there with a stadium full of Arabs and Jews cheering and booing together and hugging, and it was just insane. Because I growing up, trying to be cool in high school, like I'm not gonna wrestle. That's I'm probably not. We're thinking like that, and then to seeing the beauty that can bring, and not to mention the children that it brings in, the kids. There's something about being a 8-year-old kid, because that's the age it grabbed me, about 6, 7, 8. Wrestling. I watched the guys on TV, and it grabbed me, and I want to be like that, And you have this weird platform with the kids will look up to you, and it's almost like it's like a precious thing to have, and you want to use it for good. And I know everyone wants to be that rough heel, the edgy heel, and I get it, but there's so many of them. But there's not many baby faces that genuinely want kids to have some good role models, because this world's going in a crazy place. And I want to show them that Christians can be badasses too. Christians can fight, and we love Jesus, and we love kicking butt. And we're not putting on any persona. We're real people. I mess up all the time, but I'm shooting for the target, and so is my brother. And we are aiming to bring belts, tag team belts from a major company. We want to bring them to Dad and say, you were right. You were right. You were right the whole time. And from there, I don't know. I really don't know. But my brother and I, we are enjoying the process. We've got to travel the world. We've been together, prayed with all kinds of people in the locker rooms. That's what it's kind of been as a ministry. And just built these crazy relationships, crazy stories. There's a few stories that some of the boys know. I don't want to share that one. It's crazy. We actually got almost a knife fight and a gunfight in San Antonio our second time here, and it was pretty crazy. But that's a story for another time.
Yeah. Well, they are Christian badasses. I mean, they're claiming their Texas birthright, man. It's Dallas Cowboys, Texas Longhorns, and then the Von Erich family, man. That is Texas royalty, man. That's what it is. Again, RCW Mania is Saturday, April 20th. It says sold out on the website, but if more tickets come available, go to rivercitywrestling.net for more information. You can also catch the live stream on that website, rivercitywrestling.net. Ross, Marshall, thanks for being with us, man. Your journey is amazing. Thank you for being so candid and open. And man, enjoy the Mexican food here in San Antonio. Welcome back to Texas.
Yeah. Thank you, guys, brother. I appreciate it.
God bless y'all. Thank you.
Y'all take care. Going back into that movie, The Iron Claw, I rip a lot of movies. I give a lot of movies crap. A lot of them, people loved Oppenheimer. Couldn't stand it.
Didn't like it.
Okay, people loved Barbie. It was meh. You know what was the best of the 3 movies? Was The Iron Claw.
Iron Claw was a good movie, dude. I'm not gonna lie.
It was a great movie.
Yeah.
And beyond the fact that they had Zac Efron in there, The Iron Claw, later on you come to find out that another superstar in there, Jeremy Allen White, who was big beforehand but became even bigger because of his TV show. It was a great cast, great movie, and to find out that not only are they wrestlers, but they're people, they're sons, their fathers, their brothers, and on top of that whole thing that happened in Japan happened for a reason. And again, April 20th, they'll be here in San Antonio. I'm going to eject. The show's going to continue. We're going to have Spernandez here with Steph Mejia. We're going to be talking about boxing as well. We had a conversation with Frank Harris yesterday, and we mentioned the fact that, I don't know, somehow I brought up Mike Tyson against Jake Paul. We were talking about all sorts of things, and he mentioned, I'm going to that fight. So that's pretty interesting. So here's, we're going to do the hockey shift change?
Yeah.
We're gonna change seats, but hey, thank you everyone for listening to that interview for the Von Erichs, and we'll have more interviews hopefully next week, and we're lining them up, baby. We hope you like the new format of the show, but give us about 5-10 seconds to change seats.
Locked on Spurs is your daily Spurs podcast, hosted by Jeff Garcia, the lead Spurs writer for Ken's 5 San Antonio. Jeff has a healthy plethora of guests all the time on the Locked On Spurs podcast. You can also follow Jeff on Threads at Jeff G Ken's 5 SA. You can also follow Jeff on Twitter at Jeff G Spurs Zone. So make sure you go ahead and give Jeff a follow not only on Threads and Twitter, but also on YouTube at youtube.com/@LockedOnSpurs. This is where you're going to be able to find the replay of the Locked On Spurs podcast. Make sure to like, subscribe, and share. All right, so we're going to transition here real quick. So just give us about another minute to set up as we go ahead and bring on Spernandez and Chicana Fuerte. So we're going to stop for another word from one of our sponsors. MCS General Contracting, more than 30 years of combined experience in concrete placement. They are the best in the business, honest pricing, high quality work. They get going on house foundations, driveways, concrete patio decks. If you want to extend the deck, extend the driveway. If you're a business and you need to put together a slab, a parking lot, or other concrete placement services or sidewalks, reach out to MCS General Contracting at 210-774-9155. They're confident in their skills, so give Chris Leja over at MCS General Contracting a call at 210-774-9155. And all right, so shout out to both Jeff Garcia and Christopher Leja from MCS General Contracting. Appreciate you guys' continued support. So we're just waiting for our guest to get situated here because the lovely Stephanie Mejia here is pouring some drinks, some libations. Yeah, it was a great interview from the Von Erichs. Noah Pettis says back-to-back. Great interviews. Thanks, man. That's what we're hoping to do moving forward. We're going to start working on bringing some good interviews for you guys. That way we can kind of diversify the content a little bit. You know, I know you all get tired of seeing me and Mike's mug all the time. So, yeah. Are the earphones moisty? From Mike. But shout out to you, Jonathan. See, thanks for the $2 super chat. We did go ahead and put that up here. And he had put in a world of flares, be a Von Erich.
Can you hear me?
Yeah. Your mic is hot now.
Hot mic.
Do we got the other camera on?
No, just that one with Rick. And let me change your name because your name's not Rick. Or not Mike, should I say?
Oh, yeah. Please. Please don't. Oh.
All right. We got that there. So we got everything situated here. So you do control the screen up here in front of you. That's using my Twitter. So we can go ahead and talk about some of the, boxing. And also let's talk about some of the Spurs, let's say, murals that you all were seeing yesterday, because you have your son in town.
Yeah, for sure.
know?
Yeah,
And-
I think we could talk boxing, and then we could talk Spurs and murals and stuff. And I'll bring him on for a little bit because he wants to get in on the action. So he's here from San Diego.
Oh yeah, no doubt. Sit the lies. Just wanted to give you all your flowers. Oh, look at Tim Gonzalez says, Joe Garcia, any more interview with College Basketball Insider? Well, we're going to have some more interviews coming up, so just stay tuned, man. We can't tell you everything we're doing, but we are working on some things behind the scenes. So as you can see, we have the lovely Stephanie Mejia and also Spernandez here, also known as Rick to me, but he's known as the infamous,
There it is.
infamous Spernandez.
There it is, right there.
Hey,
Hey, the mimosas are flowing. So
I can't hear my headphones.
Oh, you can't hear your headphones? Hold on.
There we go. Yes.
you good.
All right. Put mine on backwards. All right, so let's go ahead and get this on the road now. So let's go ahead and talk about some of the, boxing events that are going to be coming up here. I know that I was just looking, at some of the hot sheets, and we had Ryan Garcia, man, and his fight coming up. Things are starting to get heated now.
Yeah.
Haney and him, man.
Yeah. Ryan and that is a whole thing.
There
right?
ain't no love lost, bro.
No,
they said
no,
this
no.
is real. We ain't friends.
Yeah. No, they had a run in Vegas during the Super Bowl festivities, Media Row. They got into it there. Ryan's antics have been pretty well chronicled. He's all over Twitter. He's all over. He's saying some crazy stuff. Devin seems focused. Devin is definitely
Haney does,
focused.
man. He's all business, bro.
Devin Haney's all business. He's focused. If you haven't seen him, he's a master class boxer. I mean, I'm talking, jab and
he's
moving
bad.
and
That boy's
he's
bad.
He's a bad boy. And Ryan has twitchy speed. and Ryan has talent of his own. But I will say, Devin, man, he's the truth.
He said
really
he came in. He's
yeah.
going to come and end him, man.
Yeah.
And he's not playing. He got into it too the other day.
Oh yeah,
on Spaces with one of the fans. You see that?
Devin?
Yeah.
Did he? Nah,
he told one of the fans because he was opening his mouth, wanting to be smart.
Who was it? Ray Jackson?
Oh no, it was just a fan on Spaces. It was a Twitter Spaces and X Spaces.
Got you. Yeah.
And the fans.
There's a pretty infamous boxing Twitter fan. His name is Ray Jackson.
Yeah.
And you can follow him on Twitter. And I don't know what it is. Maybe he's kind of the Fernandez of the boxing world because he has a knack for getting the fighters to respond to him on Twitter.
Yeah, gets under the skin.
Yeah, he's gotten a bunch of fighters to respond to him on Twitter. At 420, Brooklyn, it's going to be a good show. Devin, Ryan, it's going to be a good one.
Well, it wasn't Haney that got into it. It was Shakur Stevenson.
Shakur? Okay.
Yeah, he got into it with the boxing fan on Twitter Spaces yesterday. And he told the fan that was mouthing off in the Spaces, I'll come to your gym.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
he was serious.
Yeah. No, Shakur's another one. That 140, 147, 154, that weight class range, is stacked, right? Shakur, Ryan, Tanks in the mix. Hell, we just saw Pitbull Cruz, right?
Yeah.
Put a beat down on Rolly. So there's a lot of Shakur, obviously. There's a lot of good fighters in that weight class. So seeing all of them mix it up in like a round robin would be amazing.
Yeah, they were also showing some video. I know I follow Michael Benson avidly over on the X, because he always releases some good stuff.
Yeah.
Man, he was showing Deontay Wilder back in training and this week, man. And I got to say, it looking like he's getting back to basics, dude. And you know what?
Yeah.
Forget about all the showboating and all that. Just he needs a win, dude.
So he's actually going to fight in Saudi. He's going to fight the Big Bang, the Chinese Big Bang. That's going to be an explosive one. You want to talk about big boys throwing some heavy leather? Deontay Wilder versus the Big Bang. They're both coming off of losses to Joseph Parker, the same fighter. So this is a really, really big crossroads. No pun intended. Big, big heavyweights. But it's a big crossroads fight between those two. Because they both can punch. They both can end it in one shot. So yeah, man, boxing is booming right now.
Yeah, you got a lot of things popping off right now, man. You have some boxing matches coming up, and we have one of San Antonio's own.
Oh,
yeah. It's going to be just added to the card.
Added to the card, yeah.
Tell us about that.
Yeah, our Aztec warrior, right? Mario Barrios. Azteca, puro San Antonio, right? Representing. He will be on the undercard of Canelo Jaime Munguia, May 5th in Vegas. Hey, look.
You might feel a certain way about Canelo, but root for your boy, man.
Oh yeah, no, man. But let me tell you, but Mario Barrios brings it every time. He's been in there with Tank. He's been in there with the best. He doesn't ever, he is the essence of what San Antonio is all about. He won't back down from any challenge, anybody. And he lives up to that Aztec warrior nickname. Man. The kid can fight. The kid will bring.
He went the distance with Tank.
He's a tough fighter. He's a tough fighter. He will. He'll give his all, and the losses he has are really to just top level fighters. But no, San Antonio's own, definitely. That's a good card that they just announced, the Canelo Munguia. I think Canelo's getting a lot of flack right now because, a lot of people want to see him fight David Benavidez.
No, he don't want to, man.
I actually think it'll happen. I think in September. I think it will. I said that a while back that I thought, that Munguia was going to be the May fight. I would venture to say September or should be Benavidez. If it's not, then it might happen.
Canelo says he doesn't. He said he believes that Benavidez fight would be a lose-lose for him with the rehydration clause put in there.
I mean, I think that even though we know David Benavidez, I mean, he's not a household name, right? So let's put that out there. But he's probably the most dangerous opponent for Canelo. So I mean, it kind of is a lose-lose because if Canelo beats David Benavidez, your average fan is going to say, okay, cool, no big deal.
You lost to a no-name.
Yeah. And then if you lose to David Benavidez, it's an issue. But I don't know, man. I've said this for years, and I don't pretend to be on that level, but I've had my time in the ring as an amateur boxer, and no fighter fights, trained since they were 5 years old, 6 years old, gets in the ring, multitude of amateur fights, multitude of championship fights. no fighter is afraid to fight another fighter. Like
Yeah.
it becomes, it's more of a politics thing. It's unfortunately it's management, it's this, it's that, it's money.
Yeah.
But deep down, I find it hard to believe that a fighter who feels like they are the best in the world is afraid to fight another fighter. You know, I've even said that about Floyd. I've said that about a lot of fighters. Now there is a business to it. There's a politics to it. Unfortunately, when you get to a certain level like Canelo is. And like I said, it goes all the way back to even Sugar Ray Leonard or different, even way before that. You get to a certain level when you're Floyd, when you're Pacquiao, where you do get to kind of, you know, be on the driver's seat and call your shots. That's the reason why you came up all those years to be there, you know,
all those fights.
Yeah. So, I mean, people, you know, it's kind of easy to say, oh, well, he's ducking somebody or he doesn't want to fight somebody. I don't think it's that simple. But at the end of the day, though, you know, if you're in the driver's seat of your career, of your Canelo, you got to make that fight. You got to make the Benavidez fight.
You only got so many fights left in you as
Canelo.
Yeah,
exactly.
You know,
yeah.
So you got to make,
and they all got to be big ones. You know.
Yeah. So one of the other things too is that Crawford versus Aaron Boots Ennis. You know,
yeah. You know, listen, again, another guy that maybe not be a household name, Boots Ennis. That dude is a beast. That kid is legit. He is a dangerous fighter for Terrence Crawford. You know, Terrence Crawford. You know, he had a big win over Errol Spence in a pretty big mega fight. But Boots Ennis, you know, 26 years old, undefeated, very he's like a boxer puncher, you know, he's gonna move, he's gonna jab, but he's also gonna have some power to him. That'd be a great one, you know. Boots Ennis just entered a contract deal with Matchroom Boxing, which Eddie Hearn promotion, you know, so
that's a big promotion.
It is. You know, Eddie Hearn does a lot of good things for boxing. He puts a lot of good fights together. But now, the Crawford Ennis would be a good fight. You know, Terrence Crawford. You know, is like I said, he's one of the top guys. You know, Ennis
Crawford's in his prime, bro.
Oh yeah. Crawford. Yeah. He is. The win over Spence was huge. You know. And, you know, the thing about Crawford, before the Spence fight, he was kind of like, well, he hadn't fought nobody, right? Because he was with Top Rank. It goes back to those promotional disputes, right?
Yeah.
So he wasn't on PBC, so he didn't fight the Keith Thurmans. He didn't fight the, you know, the other name fighters that Errol Spence had fought. But when they got in the ring, you saw the difference. Crawford put a beat down on Spence. So, you know, he's 36 years old. He's you know, he's also kind of, hey, I only have a few fights in me, so I want the big ones. But yeah, no, man, it's exciting. It's an exciting time for boxing. You know, I always joke because people said boxing was supposed to die like 20 years ago. You always hear it, right? Boxing's dying.
It's dead. UFC is better.
Yeah, UFC
no,
is
it's
better.
Still
you
here.
know? Yeah, boxing is you know, boxing goes back to the.
It's not
you know,
going nowhere.
Boxing goes back to the Roman days. You know, it goes back to the 1800s. Like it's all the way through. It's gonna sustain the test of time. But yeah, it's an exciting time to be a boxing fan. It really is. You know.
Did you hear this too? I saw this on Michael Benson's X as I scrolled through and, you know, looking for topics.
Mm-hmm.
Triple G. Mm-hmm. It's believed that he's now mostly retired because he hasn't come out and outright said he's retiring.
Right.
But now, at 42 years of age, he's a president of Kazakhstan's Olympic Committee. So if you're going to be the president of the Olympic Committee, that means that you're putting all your time and effort into those fighters.
Sure.
You don't have time to necessarily go ahead and train and fight.
Right.
So, I mean,
yeah, you know, Triple G is another one, man. He was a legend in his time, and his fights with Canelo. Hey, I love Canelo, but I tell you that first fight, you know, I gave it to Triple G. I thought Triple G beat Canelo that first fight. It was a draw, and then Canelo beat him the other times. But no, he's another one that was so fun to watch, man. Triple G, you know, he was like the Mexican style. But he was, you know, an Eastern European guy. So it was
Kazakhstan.
And
he would say Mexican style.
He would say Mexican style. Yeah, you know, and that Borat voice. But you know, it was fun to watch. But yeah, you know, it's exciting. It's an exciting time to be a fight fan. There's a lot of good fights coming up. Our boy Bam Rodriguez is fighting in Phoenix soon. You know, there's no let up. You know, there's definitely no let up.
Look at what they said. Sith Elias, he says, Mario Barrios, baby. He has the cleanest Spurs themed.
He does
boxing gear.
He does. You ever see Mario Barrios come out, man? He has all the Fiesta color gear. He's decked out. He's always representing San Anto. It's a beautiful thing to see.
Look at what he says here, dude. Ain't he gonna knock the coke addiction out of Ryan?
Ryan's got something that he's got the De La Hoya. He's got the Oscar stuff, man.
Yeah, man.
He's got the Oscar stash. You know.
Hey, he was. They were asking about Tyson the
Yeah.
Tyson fight coming up
Yeah.
with Paul. So this one, I mean, there's a lot of things that are in the clause now. If you kind of read through and it's all in favor of Paul.
Yeah. Right.
And I mean, of course, because he wants to look like that, like he's got some game. But I mean, he's going up against an aging Mike Tyson.
Yeah.
Tyson's still training. He's still got the hands, man.
Yeah.
He's got that speed. But I don't know if he's got that stamina, because as you get older, sometimes that power is the thing to go. You might have that speed still, but that power is just not there anymore. I think if Tyson can go ahead and get him early, and give him some body shots and get him rocked, he can probably get that KO and knock him down. I don't know if he can knock him out because per the clause, but he can end him early, dude. But again, if he lets it go the distance, of course, the younger guy's going to win. Paul's going to win.
Yeah. And I think the last thing that goes is power. So Tyson always has that power. And like you said, I think he needs to get him early. But yeah, you see the stipulations of the size of the gloves and all that kind of stuff. My son and I were
don't hit the face.
Yeah. My son and I were talking about this earlier, and it was like, we're just worried that it's kind of rigged, or it's like WWE style, where it's kind of
the outcome's been decided.
Right. The outcome's been decided. But I hope not. I hope Tyson really just, or it'd be funny if like it was supposedly decided and Tyson just gets in there and se va la onda, just says, you know what? Nah, man, I'm gonna, because Mike Tyson,
I'm a caged animal. You can't hold me.
Yeah. I think it'd be funny if he said, hey, I'm gonna play by the rules or whatever.
Knock you
and
out.
Then all of a sudden he just lets loose. That'd be pretty sweet,
I mean, you can't deny a predator their natural instincts, man. Sure. When he gets in that ring, he's gonna want to knock him out, bro.
Oh yeah, no, you get hit, man, and I think the instinct is gonna come back, and he's gonna say, you know what, nah, man, I'm not gonna go out like that, But you're right. My concern is the stamina, going multiple rounds, at 50, it's a tough thing. But
we're no spring chickens no more, man.
Yeah. I say jump on him early, jump on him like you did Peter McNeely when he first got out of prison, man. You know what I mean? Just jump on that boy, man.
Look at Hanover Fizz, Paul going in juiced up to fight an old man. No thanks.
He's gonna be on that prime, dog. He's
don't drink it.
He's gonna be all up on that prime. Yeah, Ryan Garcia said, "Don't drink the prime.
Don't drink the prime." But we got good fights coming up nonetheless. Good representation here from San Antonio también.
Yeah,
with Bam, and you have Barrios as well.
Sure.
So I mean, always go and support your local boys,
for sure,
because they're gonna put on the show. They're puro Mexicano, dude.
Absolutely,
Mexican style.
Absolutely, man. And I caught the interview you guys had earlier with the Von Erichs, which was amazing, by the way. And it's kind of similar where Mike talked about wrestling had a high and then down and then an uptake. I feel like the San Antonio boxing scene is very similar, so back in our time we had Jesse James Leja, shout out to the legend, John Michael Johnson, Bam Bam, Robert Quiroga. Like those fighters were from the late 80s, early 90s that were world champions. Even some lesser known like local legends, like my boy, rest in peace, Oscar Diaz, Gabriel, the Elizondo brothers. You had all these fighters, right?
Hotbed of fighters.
The Jaramillos, like people that know boxing, that know old school San Antonio amateur boxing scene. They know the Jaramillos, they know the Elizondos, the Oscar Diaz's of the world, right? And I feel like we're back in the uptake now. It might have dropped a little bit, but now we're back on the uptake with Bam and Barrios.
That's what happens when you get some champions.
Yeah, for sure, for sure, and a lot of young locals that are coming up. So it's good, man. We got the legendary trainer, Robert Garcia. He has fighters from San Antonio that he trains down here.
Look at Mario Cavazos. I hope Mike Tyson eats Paul's Pokemon card. You saw that fool spend all that money on the stupid card. I'm like, come on.
Yeah, for sure.
You could have done something better with that, man. Go to an impoverished neighborhood, help the community out, man.
Right. Yeah.
Hey, but let's go ahead and get into some Spurs talk here. Coach.
Yeah.
Because I mean, y'all had a busy day yesterday.
We did. We want to talk a little bit, but
your mic is hot.
I wanted to bring my son on when we talk Spurs, but
we
go ahead,
have another mic over there, right?
We have another one that's hot here too.
Okay.
Yeah. So we were very fortunate enough to get an invitation by Brad from over there at the Salvation Army. And
like, what was it? Like a little fiesta? What was it?
Yeah, it was like a pre-fiesta thing. It's kind of funny because he sent me the invitation. He's like, "Hey, don't try to tell a lot of people. We want a really small crowd."
Yeah, gotcha.
And I was like, "Okay, that'll be fine." And since we have, Ethan here, we're really just trying to lay out the red carpet for him. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like we could totally take Sylvia, the Spurs lady, and I hit her
she's
up.
sweet, man. She's
Oh,
a sweetheart.
she's awesome. She is a national treasure.
Protect her at all costs.
Protect her
man.
at all
Okay,
costs.
so,
Yes,
yes,
that's another story.
That's exactly what me and Rick do whenever we are around her, because they trust me so much enough to drive her around and in the Spurs truck.
Yeah.
So if there's
That's
an
her baby.
event,
Listen. So that Spurs truck, everybody knows that Spurs truck,
Yeah.
right?
All the autographs.
You saw, yes, I put it on my Twitter. Mamu signed it. There's signatures inside, all outside.
over.
It's decked out in Spurs.
it's a mobile.
It's a mobile, it's a
signature.
mobile
Museum.
Yeah. Now,
Mobile autograph.
now that truck has been out, and according to her, Sylvia and her husband, yesterday we went to dinner after the event. They said that truck has been out 3 times this year, and she's driven it twice.
Wow.
They said that other than they don't allow no one else to drive it, and she's the only other person other than her husband that's driven that truck. And
Wow.
Sylvia used to drive it when she was younger, right? You know, she's in her advanced age, but they trust Steph to drive the truck. So anytime we do events with them, Steph gets in the driver's seat, Sylvia gets in there, and her husband, he's low key. Like you'll catch him just in the background. Army vet, Vietnam veteran, like just good dude. But he's low key. He's in the background. Sylvia, Spurs lady, we already know she's out there. You know, so
I know they're always like, "Oh my gosh, you're my guardian angel. Thank you so much." And I'm just like, "Hey, I'm just trying to make sure you're going to these small events, because if it's a small event,
she has no quit in her.
No, she
No,
doesn't.
she doesn't.
She doesn't. She does. But what the issue was is it was pretty far. It was like Alamo Ranch. I mean, far for them.
Oh
right?
yeah.
So it was at one of the frost banks, and they just didn't want to drive so far, right? And so they weren't going to go actually at first.
Yeah.
And Sylvia was like, in tears because she wanted to go so bad. And we just so happened, whenever I'm in town, we always call her and see how she's doing. Hey, how are you? And I mean, Steph keeps in touch with her.
Breakfast.
Yeah. We just happened to call her and, hey, how are you? What's going on? And she was like, you answered my prayers because I wanted to go to this event, and now you can come. You could, so, and we went to go pick her
She
up.
wanted to go meet Mamu.
And her house is another museum. Her house is a museum of signed autograph basketballs, jerseys,
everything.
I mean, she has been in this game as a Spurs fan since the 70s. Like,
dude, she's been. I don't know. She might be in there as long or longer than the baseline bumps.
Yeah, she goes back. Like, and if we have to like chronicle her life and her story one day, because
they need to do a documentary on her.
They really
man.
do. They really do. She has a certificate from the mayor of San Antonio officially naming her the Spurs lady. Right? She has it on her wall. She's awesome. She's amazing. And we just are blessed to be, around her. She's always a good time.
It's really awesome to have somebody like so known, and I don't know, she really does consider herself like a grandparent for my children.
Yeah,
it's nice to have like that type of family
dynamic
over here.
She's a living legend, that lady, man.
She really is. She really is. So so it was a cool event. It was a small event down around Alamo Ranch area. Spurs put it on. Frostbank put it on.
That's great,
they had
oh my goodness,
everything was free.
The Frostbank people over there, like you said, everything was free, and like
tacos.
It was such a
paletas,
since it was a small crowd, like the lines weren't long.
Yeah.
Very enjoyable.
They made sure that everybody stayed
everybody.
hydrated.
Yeah.
Like they're just giving free waters, free
Yeah.
tacos, free paletas,
Margaritas.
free face paint, free margaritas.
Yeah,
and the margaritas, because you would think, okay, it's an excess. No, they were pretty strong.
Yeah.
I was like,
All free.
Pretty strong.
It was all a free fan
You drink
fiesta.
what is it, Precoso, or what is it?
Prosecco.
And you're saying that that's pretty strong.
Well, I mean, I have to be in a mood for tequila.
Okay.
Yeah.
And I was quite surprised that I was like, oh, hey, this doesn't taste like just margarita mix. I can taste the tequila.
But they need to worry about giving Mexicans tequila, because what I've seen with Chris Leja, that's our truth serum.
Yeah.
We start drinking that,
Yeah.
truth come out.
Uh-oh.
Sure.
So I'm like, no.
But no, hey, it was a great event put on together by Frostbank and the Spurs. Like I said, they had the mariachis out there, the hype squad was out there, Coyote was out there, and free food, free all that stuff. And then Mamu came out, Sandru, and he signed for everybody. Everybody got a signature. He took pictures with everybody, and then he walked out over to the Spurs truck or Spurs ladies truck, signed it and all that. And it was pretty awesome. It was a great show.
I'll keep Mike's
Whenever we're doing the podcast, you could just do it. It's parked outside, bro. Like,
Oh, but dude,
That's
these
funny.
guys are too much,
yeah.
man.
But no, and like I said, so again, a little bit of backstory. My son Ethan, also known as Three-Thin for his ability to shoot that three ball. He's out, he's
got that skill.
Yeah, man.
Damn.
So he's out in San Diego, right? He's a varsity basketball player. He's been playing varsity ball since he was a freshman. Now he's going to be a junior next year. He's on spring break. Cali spring break is so late,
crazy,
dude. So he came out here with me. He hasn't been in San Antonio for a while. He's a traveling man, right? He was actually born in North Carolina when I was stationed out there, and then we went to Rhode Island, Austin, now in Cali. So he's spent a good part of his time in Southern California. So he hasn't really been out in San Antonio in a while, but the thing about it is he's raised San Antonio because of me, right? So he got all the Spurs gear, and out in Cali, he's always repping the Spurs. Yeah, he's always repping, the Longhorns and the Cowboys and all that good stuff. And here he is. There he is. That's a handsome man right there, So he came out with me, and I was so lucky and blessed that he was able to come out with me this trip, because he hasn't been back in San Antonio in a while. So so I had to kind of take him around and do the murals, and my love. We did the murals, right? We took him to see the Wemby murals. We went to all around Southtown to see all the different murals. He's getting a taste of that San Antonio life, that puro. He's SoCal, he's a SoCal boy. He's been out there for so long, he's been out there since he was in kindergarten. So here he is. That's my boy right here. And I'm glad he's here.
So what is he thinking about San Antonio so far, man?
It's great. It's great to be back here. Eating some good food, eating good, still playing basketball.
Yeah.
Go watch some Spurs today. Watch a good game.
Yeah.
Go see Jokic play.
Yep.
And you're talking to go see the murals over there at Rudy Seafood.
Oh yeah. Yep. Definitely. Yeah. I went to Rudy Seafood to see all those murals. We went to the 101 to see the Wemby, all those different murals. I'm gonna take him to the Spurs game tonight. He's only been an away fan because he always goes to away games. We go to LA, we go to Phoenix.
First home
game. He hasn't been in a home game since he was probably Chavalon, little Chiquito. He probably doesn't even remember. He wants to talk some Spurs. Joe, ask him, what he thinks, because he has.
What's your opinion? Now let's go ahead and get his opinion. I mean, he's young, right?
Yeah.
What's your opinion of seeing Wemby? I mean, what do you think of him?
He's generational talent. We've never seen anything like him. I don't think we're ever gonna see anything like him ever again. He's gonna go down as the best player of all time.
He's gonna be one of those enigmas, it's gonna change the game. And you know what? Speaking of Wemby, they went ahead and showed a prototype of his shoe.
Oh yeah.
And they're saying that the shoe was designed by AI, right? Artificial intelligence. There's been a lot of back and forth with the shoe. You had the faction of Spurs fans that absolutely love it, and they're like, hey, well, Michael Jordan's shoe when it first came out, that was different, and a lot of people didn't like that. Since this one was designed by AI, has a futuristic look, because of course it's going to be on the foot of the alien. I mean, I don't know if you've seen it, but what have you all thought of it?
I've seen it.
I saw it. I mean, it's different. It's weird. I mean, it's weird, but like, it's Wemby. He's not gonna have a normal shoe like all the other
unique
athletes. Yeah, he's gonna have to have a different shoe than everyone else. So.
Yeah, but these are prototypes. So the things that with prototypes is that they can always change. But I think some of the styling cues that we're seeing right now are going to translate over to the actual product itself.
For sure. For sure.
So I mean, fans feel a certain way about it, but give it a chance, man. Let's see what happens.
Yeah.
But the Spurs, they only got so many games left now.
Two more, bro.
That's
Two more. We got Denver tonight and then Detroit on Sunday. And it's a wrap, man. It's a wrap. Yeah. What do you think, Ethan, about this season so far? Tell us your honest opinion.
I mean, I'm used to this. I'm used to the struggle. I mean, ever since I've really been a diehard Spurs fan, we haven't been, in the best condition as a team. But we're gonna get back. I mean, this is the worst we're ever gonna be. This is the worst Wemby's ever gonna be. It's only up from here. I mean, this is our last bad season, I think, for the next 10 years, 15.
Here you go.
Look at Midtown Texas giving some props to your boy.
Freshman varsity equals true baller. Yeah, I like that. Look at Sith. What did he say? He said, send him back with the Marbach cut. He said, send him back. Send him back. The Marbach Edgar haircut.
Hey, we already tried to get him a haircut.
Hey, he ain't having it, bro. Or the Peso Pluma.
Oh, no, dude.
I do have a question for Ethan. Let's say you were to move over here. As being a basketball player and knowing like the other athletes that you've played around and over there in California, do you think you could change the game over here in San Antonio from what you know over there in the West Coast?
Oh, 100%. I think I'll bring a different type of basketball. It's a way different type of basketball that's played over there compared to here in Texas. So I think it would be a great change, and it'd be great to just play anywhere in the country, obviously.
Y'all should have
I
taken some
believe it.
videos of
That's
him
awesome.
dropping some threes, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
no,
we
yeah,
actually do
yeah.
have a clip of
You
him.
pull up that Michael Flicks clip.
I don't know. See if you
Isn't it
can.
on your.
You can. He can put it up on his.
Okay. Oh.
Yeah, on that.
Your Twitter stuff, right?
No, it's up there on his too.
Go to.
You take over, Mama.
Yeah, while they're doing that, so here's the thing, my son's been blessed to play basketball out in SoCal, and hey, much love obviously to Texas and other areas, but SoCal has some ballers. SoCal has ballers. I mean, we got, we've gone to tournaments where Kenny the Jet Smith's son was playing.
Really? Dude?
Yeah, we've got, he's played with Troy Polamalu's son.
Really?
In AAU ball, right? So they're yeah. I mean, there's like celebrities and athletes that their sons play in the leagues that my son plays in. So to be up against that competition, I mean, that's an amazing thing, So he's been able to ball up against the best, from LA, Anaheim, Vegas, I mean, everywhere. So, we came out here and he went out to Highlands because my cousin is a head coach of Highlands varsity basketball.
Yeah.
So yesterday he went to open gym with them and balled with them. So he brought his Cali flavor, out here to San Antonio. So it's exciting. It's pretty cool, right? What do you think, Ethan? What do you think about the difference of balling and out here and versus Cali?
Yeah, it was good. I really like it. At Highlands, there are some hoopers. There's some good talent, but I think everywhere has a different style of play, and being able to expand and play in different states and parts of the United States is just going to help my game, so.
For sure.
There's his video right there.
There it is right there. Look at that. There it is. Oh, shit.
Threethin? That's what you call
That's it. Yep. He wears a number 3. He wears a number 3, and then he hits that 3. Look at that. Oh, look at that. Look at that move. Look at that. Okay. And hyping up the team, right? Look at that. Look at this. This is my favorite part because he's hyped up the team, hype up in the bench.
Who was more hyped, you or him?
Oh man, hey, yeah. That's a
He's
good
like,
question.
Dad, calm down. Calm down.
That's a very good question. Assists, No, we talk about this. It's like, of course everybody wants to score. I mean, bam, there's a 3 right there. But one of the intangibles is being a good teammate, right?
Yeah.
And that's one thing I've always told all my sons. But with Ethan, the scoring and all that is great, and that's kind of what everybody wants to do. But there'll be times where he don't even score, but he's hitting assists, he's motivating his teammates, he's being a good teammate. And I think that's something that's you can't teach that, because there's some kids that are, they go through a slump or they're not making or they're just having a bad off night or off day, and you could see it because they're on the bench, their heads down, they don't want to sit with their team, they're not even high-fiving their teammates because you know what I mean. Whereas him, he's always in a positive, so that's what I told him. I said, being a good teammate is going to take you a long way, because some nights you're just not going to score. You see it in the NBA. You see professional players who some nights they just don't have it. So you could go 0 for 10, but that don't mean that 11 shot ain't going to go in, so you got to stay positive. But aside from Wemby, who's Threethin's favorite Spur?
Matt Lerma.
Yeah, I was glad that you said that about my style of play. I want to be able to affect the game even if I'm not scoring, even if I'm not doing anything. I got to still be able to affect the game. So my favorite Spur, honestly, is Trey Jones because Trey Jones has all those intangibles that you can't teach. He's a scrappy guard. He's not Wemby. He's not Devin. He's not Keldon. But he's our point guard. He gets us into our offense. He brings the ball on the court. He plays hard defense, and he's just a hard-nosed player. And so I like to model my game after him, and I really like Trey Jones to play.
That's surprising there, man.
Yeah,
I love
but it's a good choice.
That's a good answer, though. That's a hooper answer, right? Because again, he's thinking of the point guard, the maestro, right? That's out there, kind of doing all those things. I'm getting maybe not scoring all the time and all that kind of stuff. So. That's a good answer, Matt Lerma. Good question that he asked.
Look at that. Sit the last. Mike said he beat him in a
3-point shootout. Eating what? Eating 3 tacos at a time, or what is he talking about?
Mike's tall.
Mario Cavazos. How tall are you, Ethan? Want to see you play Mike? He says he's an athlete. Mike, they're talking about the guy that was here.
He says he's got some hops, is what he says. He said that 3-inch verticals. It's killer, bro. 3-inch.
It wouldn't be a fun game for him.
It wouldn't be a fun game for him, he said. He says Fernandez Joe tomorrow night, San Antonio. What are you saying? Like Hoops?
Arena Robertson will be playing at the Nike Hoop Summit
Okay.
This is
yeah,
great
I've
for
heard
our
about
city.
her.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, she's a girl hooper.
Yeah,
I
she's
heard,
a
I heard about that. Yeah,
Okay.
yeah.
All right. Appreciate it, Tim. Yeah, we might have to check that out.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
Tim's always in the know when it comes to this stuff.
Oh,
That's why he
Tim-
follows all that college ball, high school, and all that, man.
Yeah. Tim's a loyal dude, man. Look, Sid.
No, we're actually not going to ask
Look
him
what
about
Sid.
Zach
Look what
Collins.
Sid said. Sid's asking
Yeah.
him.
You've seen Zach Collins.
Ask
Give
him
us
what
your
you think
honest
about Zach
opinion.
Collins.
True opinion.
Hey,
Okay,
hey.
I do have some opinions about Zach Collins. Though. I do have some.
All right, let it
Okay.
fly.
Zach Collins, he can stretch the floor, but he's just a little not that good on defense. I kind of hate watching him play defense. A lot of time. He does.
That's a
get
nice
killed
way
down
to
there.
put it.
And
That's a
the
nice way
nicest
to
way I
put
could
it.
say.
Yeah,
I could've
yeah.
said
Well,
it
you know
way
his
worse.
nickname, right? We gave him his nickname.
Oh no, what's
Stop.
the nickname?
It's Booty Crumbs.
That was a nice way I could have put it. But Zach Collins is a very poor defender in the paint, and he just kind of gets cooked out there most of the time.
You heard it here. No influence.
Steph
no influence.
Steph has a crush on him.
He's
but,
a
you know.
beautiful man, but he can't play defense.
Hey, there you go. You know,
you can't guard nobody.
Steph's like, watch your mouth.
I know.
Watch
Hey,
your mouth.
this is when I talk about Zach, it's on a personal level, not
Yeah.
anything when it comes to his career.
Yeah.
That's the thing people got like
Right.
that's the funny thing about Twitter is how everybody seems to take it so personal.
Yeah.
Whenever like I did not go against anybody whenever they said he can't shoot or he can't defend. You know what? You are right, but it does not take away the fact on I just can't help but be attracted to the man. Like that's what it is. It's
Yeah, that's
personal.
what it is.
It is. Hey, you know what?
I
Nothing
see
wrong
nothing.
with
She's already told
Nothing
him
wrong with
he
that.
needs a Latina in her
He does
life.
need a
Yeah.
Latina.
Yeah,
He needs a
yeah.
Latina to cook for him
Exactly.
and to be like,
Exactly.
yo,
Con la
let's go.
Vicks, you know.
Yeah.
Vicks to give him that eyebrow, like, yo, you ain't shooting right.
Hey,
No,
and
man.
listen, I like, hey, look, I I support my girl 100%. You know what I'm saying? That if anyone thinks that they're getting more support than her, that's crazy, right? So I'll just put that out there right now. You know, I definitely support, Steph 100%. Ain't no one above her. That's point blank and period. But my man, what did Tim say? He said,
what did he say?
No, he was saying about Blue Devils.
Right here.
Yeah. Your son is a smart man, Trey Jones. Yep, Buddha Blue Devils. Yeah,
How tall are you?
he's
5'10".
5'10", creeping up on 6 foot. He's only
Yeah.
16, but he's gonna shoot up. Zach Collins is a knockoff. G.
Oh man.
Well, the Spurs, it's coming to an end here. You only got the 2 games left
Yeah.
against the Nuggets today.
Yep.
Sunday, the season comes to
Detroit.
an end. April the 14th
Yeah.
against one of the worst teams in the
Yeah,
NBA, against the
Detroit.
Detroit Pistons.
Yep.
Well, we are definitely going to be in the house tonight.
Yes.
Me, Rick, and our bigs,
Yeah.
Ethan and Reina, will be with us. So definitely come and say hi.
Yeah, I'm gonna be at the game tonight, man. If anyone wants to get together,
Stacking cups.
please. Yeah, stacking cups. You already know. You see it.
You're gonna bounce when we win.
You're gonna. Yeah, when we win, we
We always
bounce.
bounce
Yeah,
when we
exactly.
win.
So if you're at the Frost Bank tonight, by all means, please hit me up. And let's meet
Yeah.
up.
Somebody
I
in
would
the
love to.
chat said, "Hey, do the bounce now." I said, "Hey, you can't get ahead of yourself, man. You
Gotta
gotta win
Not
first."
get
The
ahead.
bounce is for the win. Yeah,
the win.
Yeah,
Win.
yeah,
But yeah, definitely. Like since we're not going to have our lottos along with us, it's going to be a big kid vibe. Just spending some family
Yeah,
time with
it's
each
gonna
other.
be
But
fun.
it doesn't mean that you guys can't come and say hi.
Yeah, no, for sure. No, I would like. I'm not gonna make the game Sunday. We got other stuff going on,
Yeah.
so this is gonna be the last game for us in person. We were at the opener, and now we're here at the second to
Close
last
it
game.
down.
Yeah. And it's we get into these conversation on Twitter about the Spurs and how bad the season is, and I think when I knew that Jeremy was going to be shut down for the year, I tweeted something like "Thank you for a great season," and a
Same
bunch
thing
of
with
people.
Devin
Yeah, and
Vassell.
Devin. Yeah. It was Devin and Jeremy.
Yeah.
They were shut down for the season, and I tweeted a picture of me with each one of those players, and I said, "Hey, thank you for a great season," something like that. And people were in my mentions like, "Great season? What are you talking about? Haha! Like you don't know ball if you think that's a great season, all that." I'm talking about the
Oh,
experiences.
man,
I'm
dude.
talking about going out there. My sons and I have been to LA. We've been to Phoenix. We went to the Vegas Summer League.
I think one
Steph
time you
and
even
I-
went to a Sacramento game.
Yep. Me
Yeah.
and him went to Sacramento. Steph and I have been to a bunch of home games here. That's what's great about it.
Meeting the gente, meeting the people, man.
Exactly. Those players are giving their all out there. I got it. The record's what it is. I didn't say thanks for a winning season. I didn't say thanks for a championship playoff season. I didn't say that.
It was a
I
good
said thank
season
you for a
with
good
people.
season, a great season,
Yeah.
because those players gave their all, and then us going to the games, and I've gotten to meet some great people.
At the end of the day, 20-win season. We're gonna get a top pick next year. We just watched Wemby have his historic rookie year. He might win Defensive Player of the Year. He's locking up rookie of the year. He's averaging 20 points. He's leading the league in blocks. Like he's leading all rookies in steals. I mean, we just saw an historic season from Wemby. So there's only positives. It's just gonna keep.
And this is the worst season we're gonna see from Wemby. That's what's crazy when you think about it, right? This is the worst he's gonna be, quote unquote, right? Meaning he's only gonna be better than this. So man, the league's got to watch out because. Yeah, and we were talking about it yesterday. You know, he said, you know, Wemby should get Defensive Player of the Year, but with politics, he may not. Yeah. And but this might be the last time he doesn't get it for a while.
This is the only time he's not gonna be able to get it.
Yeah.
We're thinking about Twitter. That's where the haters live. That's true, man.
True. That is very true.
They never seem to see the golden. I guess the silver lining, should I say?
Sure.
And what's happening with the with the team, and what's happening with the team is, in the beginning of the season they just weren't, they came in and they were winning right away, and then they just kind of had that drop off, losing 18 in a row. They're no good, this and that, getting blown out. But as you see their progress,
you've seen progression.
You see that they've become more competitive. They're in games now. They're playing better against some of the better teams. There's a lot of positives you can take away from this season, regardless of the record. And if you can't see that as a fan, there's something wrong with you, man.
Yeah, man. You know, you got City Sissoko is gonna be a presence next year. You know, he's learned so much in Austin. He's gonna be a presence next year. He's gonna be a regular rotation player next year. Right? Yeah, exactly. City's had a great season in Austin. You know, Branham has flashes of what he can do. Blake Wesley.
Devin took on the scoring role.
Yeah.
Devin's progression doesn't get talked about at all. I don't know. No one talks about that. I feel like
even Barlow looked good, dude.
Great.
Yeah.
Everyone looked good.
You know, and again, I'm also, I they need help. They need other pieces. Like I say this all the time, and I think I've said it a couple of times on here. Multiple things can be true, right? There is no one, like there is no, oh well, if you want the Spurs to sign a star, well then you must not like our young guys. That's not true. But they need some help. I always say, if you bring in another Robin to Wemby's Batman, and Devin slides to be your third option, and Jeremy your fourth,
it's over, man.
You got something there, so
look at this. It's Tim Gonzalez saying, Fernandez and Ethan, how exciting would it be if the Spurs drafted Jared McCain, a Cali boy?
Well, with how good our pick should be, I would be pretty angry if Jared McCain at top 3, but
maybe in a later pick or something.
But as a player, I do like Jared McCain. He's a great player. Had a great freshman season for Duke. He has intangibles to it. He reminds me a little bit of Trey Jones. Just he has like a higher scoring ability, I think. But he moves the ball well. He hits open shots. He plays good defense. He's a hard-nosed player. I really like
Let me tell you something, man. And I joke sometimes when I say things like, I taught you everything you know, but I didn't teach you everything I know. Right? To my sons, I say stuff like that to them. But their basketball, like when obviously I taught them about basketball and all this stuff. Now their knowledge has surpassed mine. I'm not even going to pretend to have they talk to us about not just the people that everyone knows, Dillingham and whatever. Talk about some of the other college guys that you think are
my favorite college guy. My favorite college guy was Kolek out of Marquette. He was a beat. He was just disgusting. He was just so fun to watch. He's so smart, and just the way he manipulates the game with his finishes, and he plays off too. He's just really solid. And I think college hoops has just been it was a great college season. The tournament went well. UConn is just playing good basketball. It was a really good season. And I also like dude out of Tennessee, number 3. He was nasty. He put up 37 points in the Elite Eight game. He
what did you think of Robbie Avila, dude? Larry Blurred, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. Boy can play, bro. The boy can play.
Too bad he was in the NIT tournament, but he should have been in the tournament. Hey,
can you imagine the media around him, guy, if he was in? Yeah.
No, I saw him in high school. I recognized him from high school just because he had the goggles and everyone would always post him. But he's a baller. He could hoop.
That boy can ball, dude.
Oh, he's nasty. He's very good.
You look at him and you're like, no, this guy, man. Then he'll drop 20 on you or something.
Oh, he's nasty. He's a bad boy.
My man Hooper Flesh said, "What's up, fellas? What's up, big dog? Good to see you, my man.
What's up,
always
man?
Supporting. Good dude. Really good dude."
Oh, look at Mario Cavazos.
Yeah, there you go. We were just right on cue. We were just talking about it. Yeah.
He is in the transfer portal. Oh yeah, he just entered the transfer portal. I don't remember his name.
I know your dad be like, hey, why don't you come play with UT?
Oh
Yeah, hey,
That'd
oh
be
yeah,
cool. Oh,
exactly. Hey, I would love for him to come out of UT, right?
that'd be
He's got 2 more years, junior and senior in high school.
Yeah.
You know, hey, you never know, right? And you know, we talk about this. I said, you know, even JUCO, junior college, a small school, big school, don't keep every option open, right?
If you get to go to school for free and play basketball, and no matter the level, I think that's the dream. I think that it should never be frowned upon, no matter the level. If you get to go to school for free, not many people get to do that. So
Absolutely.
Well, it's definitely been a pleasure having you on, Ethan. I love seeing the passion in your eyes whenever you talk about basketball. So that's the best thing about it. And along with seeing that Michael Flicks clip that he made of you, it's incredible. You definitely are knowledgeable. I can't wait to see everything that you do in your future, along with you have a really good act for podcasting. So we can definitely
we
start.
got something going. We got something
There you
here.
go.
We
This is
need
first
to
time.
we
This
need to
is
bring
first
some
time.
good blood
Yeah.
and some young blood
Yeah.
into the podcasting world. And behalf of me and your dad and Mr. Joe over there
Yeah.
and Alamo City Sportscast.
Any closing
You are-
thoughts? Any last remarks?
Wemby will be the MVP in 3 years.
Yeah,
There you go.
Vote claim.
There you go.
Vote
There you
claim.
go. I'll take that. I like that.
100%.
I like that. Heck yeah.
All right, guys. Well, that's about all the time we have for today's episode of the Alamo City Sportscast. But thank you to all our guests. Shout out to the Von Erichs.
Yeah.
Shout out to you, Rick.
Absolutely.
Fernandez and Chicana Fuerte. Make sure you go follow them on social
Always.
media. You can follow them on the X.
Yep.
And shout out to you.
Thank you. Appreciate
Three
you for having
thin.
me.
Three
Thank
thin.
you.
Three
Exactly. 3 thin. Yeah. Thank you guys for having me, man. I appreciate you. Always a pleasure.
All right, man.
Thanks for all the listeners.
We'll see you guys on Monday. Y'all have a great weekend. We're out. Peace.